Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So, shall we? I'm so tired. I like 3 hours sleep. I'm stressing up all night over this computer.
Oh, sorry to hear that. On Diaries of Doom, today we're speaking to Grimorte, whose debut EP, Esoteric Ascendance, came out 7 weeks ago. First off, could you introduce yourselves quickly for me?
Lewis can go first.
Oh, I'm Lewis. I do currently I do all guitars, production, drum programming, bass, all instrumentation for Grimorte. And Kieran, your turn.
Oh, okay. I do vocals, bit of help with everything, PR, graphics, just kind of a bit of everything. We both kind of like do everything together, really. I mean, if I could play an instrument, I'd help. So we do our parts.
It's done together but separately.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. What's new? What tier are you guys in at the moment with Boris's new announcements, whatever they are?
That's interesting.
So
yeah, Lewis, you can.
now in tier 4. So
Oh.
Kieran, I don't know what you're in actually, because we're about 300 miles away.
Tier 2, apparently.
Nice, lucky man.
It might be tier 3 soon. I'm assuming. Like, tears for fears.
I think I'm in tier 3 myself, but it doesn't feel any different to last month or the month before that, to be honest.
Yeah, it just feels like there's arbitrary just things placed in that we're apparently supposed to adhere to, and no one is. Not even the government isn't. The people aren't. Like, it's a bit mad.
When they can't follow their own rules, it makes it a bit doesn't it?
Whoops. I just dropped my light. Hold on. There's like collapse behind me. I was like, oh shit.
Am I right in thinking this is your first interview as Grimorte today?
Do you know what? I give up.
You are very right.
Yeah, evidently. It just keeps collapsing. Fuck off. Yeah, prick.
While Kieran's having some collapsing problems, Lewis and Kieran can join in later on this. Who or what is Grimorte in your own words?
I'm back.
Started off with I recorded like a quite a heavy sounding sort of doom track. I didn't know what to do with it. It was originally called Earth Eater, and it was basically it came. I sent it to Kieran to put vocals on, and that basically became the first track of the EP, the Procession. And then from there, he was like, "Yeah, this could go somewhere." And then I was just like, "Well, let's do it." So I started recording some more tracks, and it turned into a 4-track EP essentially. Didn't think it would sort of evolve into a band at all, actually.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Well, a duo for now, but yeah, see what the future holds for the Grimorte. Maybe some new members, a live set as well.
Oh, cool. Brilliant. How long have the two of you known each other?
Probably about 4 years, I'd say. I met Kieran in a little metal pub a few years ago. Got talking, always stayed sort of in contact with each other. So it's just...
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like, I've known Lewis for 5-6 years ish.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, cause yeah, so I met him when he was doing like some open mic nights down in my town, Shrewsbury, or where I live currently. And we just met through that way, and then we just got talking. Turns out we like similar sort of stuff, and we always like, you know, when you say in passing, you're like, oh, you know, pub talk, like, oh, we'll do some projects or some stuff, but like, and then when it actually came to it, and then we actually did something, it was like, oh shit, okay, this is pretty cool. I'm liking this. It's got something. It definitely has something. I'm just wondering how far we can go with it, and especially like going forward now with doing it live. It's going to be difficult with everything the way that it is. People are disenfranchised, disheartened. No one's really encouraged. I mean, everyone wants gigs to happen, but I feel like it's going to be a bit lackluster comparatively to what we think it's going to be. So we can see what happens. But I'm keeping optimistic, but also pessimistic at the same time.
Well, earlier this year when Grimorte was announced as a project, we were mid-pandemic, and I think you're very brave to release an EP, let alone start a project. Oh, you know, tip my hat to you. But how did you adapt your approach to promotion and social media with COVID lingering over all of us?
Yeah, it's a weird one because at the end, the problem is because everyone's in the same boat in regards of like everyone's got no gigs, everyone's all their album stuff, all the things they got planned, recording, photo shoots, everything. It's just been like either cancelled or withheld or delayed. See, with Ashen Crown, you know, I released the album last November, and it's already been a year, but it doesn't feel like a year at all. You know, and we never toured that album. We never sold that album enough because we weren't touring it. So I feel like I've just sort of kind of skipped that and then moved on to this. So it's been a bit of a weird one. So the experience I learned from promoting the Ashen Crown record through memes or whatever, again, I'm pretty ignorant to a lot of it. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm all about intent, and substance comes along the way. So like, so I built up that experience there, like just spamming people, getting hate mail, being deleted for spamming people. You know, you just kind of get used to that and sort of thing. So, but with the pandemic aspect to it, it made it much more sensitive. So as you said, it's quite brave. I acknowledge that. Yeah, like I said to Lewis, I was like, we're stupid doing this, but at the same time, you've got to try. If you don't try, there's nothing to look forward to, you know? I mean, if we want something on the end of this, we've got to put the work in. We can't just all sit in lethargy and be like, oh, you know, everything's all crap. And I'm like, yeah, it is crap for everyone. So let's do something, right? So that was kind of my thoughts going into it. I think Lewis vibed a lot of that as well, because he was in and out of work because of COVID. So he was just there like, right, I want to do something. So I think it was just a good outlet for us, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. Let's talk about the music. How do the songs come together, and how does the collaborative aspect come into play when the songs for the EP were put together?
It was, to be honest, it was mainly me just playing around with some riffs and things like that and some harmonies. Eventually I put them together. The songs, the structure of the songs are quite repetitive. It's a hard question because it was just a bit of a fluke, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let's see where this riff goes. Let's see where, you know, that, and then we would sort of like put the black metal blasts in and things like that on from the doom. So the guitar work of the EP is very simple. It's very simple stuff, but it was quite effective. You know, I very rarely went above fret 4 for most of it, and the whole thing dropped D because all I had at the time, all I got at the moment, I recorded everything on a boat, on a narrow boat, which was quite challenging, just because of electricity and things like that. You know, I had pedals as well and things to power, and then to get the extra electricity, I had to run my engine. So at times when I wanted to record through through my amp, it was just like, you just hear the engine in the background. So I was like, that's not going to happen. So it was quite a challenge at times recording the whole thing on a boat. But then obviously as soon as I finished the track, I'd then send it to Kieran. Kieran would put the vocals over it, send it back to me. I'd mix it and then master it as well. And that was the track, really. So a lot of thought, to be honest, didn't really go into it, to be honest, which is bad. But the next release, a lot of thought's going to be put into it, and it's going to be a lot bigger sounding.
The lyrics, anyway, very occulty. So how has this influence come to be?
Well, it's kind of it was a common like thing we had. Like, so I've got a lot of like Clive Barker, Aleister Crowley kind of like literatures and scriptures and things like that, and so does Lewis. Like, we've had so we were like, well, that's a cool concept, and Doom suits really well for that kind of thing. So it's something that I'm interested in, and like the aspects of like the Golden Dawn and his later appearances within it is very interesting, because I I personally find it interesting. It was actually from my mum. My mum was actually influenced into that, which is really weird. But she was like, "Oh, I know that." But yeah, so we just sort of like looked into that and just thought, you know, this kind of suited it, and I'll explain why. I don't want to go too much on it, but so with everything that's happening at the moment, nothing kind of suits more about blindly walking into brainwashing, right? So I do think there's an element of that where I could, on afterthought, be like, do you know what? I might have inadvertently made it a bit like, you know, occultish because of that environment we're in. So I think it was more of a representation of what's happening. So we were just there like, wow, there's lots of people just walking into blind ignorance and beliefs. So why don't we just kind of like do that? I guess that just sort of came out. As Lewis said, like it was mostly just like, this works. Huh, that works. Let's just put that together, sort of thing. I would say like the depth of it and the intent, you know, was definitely more of like a after thoughts and edits after like coming up with ideas. The vocals definitely help create the images, I guess, and the music that Lewis like accompanied with really helped. With what Lewis said earlier as well about like adding things and like blast beats and bits. We did a few collaborative ideas as well. There's like a few little intro things I've done. That was in Sequestrate, you know, the intro and outro. That it was kind of cool. That's something I programmed years ago, so it's kind of cool to see that being used. That was from when I was in college, so you know. But and then with the lyrics, sort of encapsulating that with the story as well, you know, like so the different titles are different stages, you know, so you've got the procession, which is, as you know, which is the sort of the becoming up to the altar, the it's trying to be as visual as possible with it, you see. And then, you know, then she gets indoctrinated in sequestrate, which is to possess, so that's to like sort of like the ritual of her becoming this indoctrinated individual. And then you've got Esoteric Ascendance, which is obviously that's the part where she's now indoctrinated and becoming like, wow, this is my new life, my new path. And then Further, which basically means forever, means that's who she is now for kind of like ongoing. So it does leave a little bit open-ended at the end of it, like a cliffhanger. So that could lead into the album or not, we're not sure yet. The full length we haven't discussed too much at the moment because we just want to get it done and out and then see what happens next year and then decide what we're doing. As Lewis mentioned about maybe getting other members as well, we don't know yet. Everything at the moment makes it so difficult, but to keep things simple, it will just be me and Lewis for now, I guess. I think that covers everything. Yeah, sorry, went on for a bit.
Yeah, I guess with everything so hypothetical at the moment and uncertain, I think that's a fair answer. I can't say fairer than that.
That's fair.
Lewis, you produced Esoteric Ascendance. Have you done production for anyone else?
Metal bands? No, I've recorded a lot of blues bands, folk bands, singer-songwriters, a lot of different stuff over the years, live, field recording, studio stuff. And I've always wanted to do, I really wanted to do black metal production, more like a raw studio sort of sound. In ways I got that from Grimorte. But I've got another project, a solo project I work on as well, which I really sort of make that the stuff I really wanted to produce. But I did really enjoy the production of Grimorte. It was just with what I had here, it was quite hard to find the right sound. I guess the perfect sound for the EP because I was quite limited here on the boat of what I had and what I could use, and you know I used an Epiphone 335 for the whole thing, which you know is the most doom or heavy. You know, and it's not a baritone or a 7-string or anything. It's just a standard hollow body bluesy jazz guitar, really. So it was a bit of a challenge, but I enjoyed it, and I think for the next release, I'll probably record it on land rather than cold steel coffin.
Cold steel coffin. I like that. That should be a
that title. I agree.
Yeah, it should be something. Oh, brilliant!
That's good. Actually, no, it is.
What other projects or wider involvements in the scene do you both get up to? I know, is it Archierophant? I don't know how to pronounce your other project, Lewis.
Archierophant. Yeah, that's got. I'm working on the next release now. There's a couple of tracks that are done pretty much. It's gone. The first EP was a real mix of tracks. I mean, on that I did a song called Hierophant. That was the first track of the EP, and Kieran featured on it. And it was like a lost Grimorte song that should have really been on the EP probably, but it just didn't. Really... So I was just like, oh, I'll put it on that. But yeah, the first Archierophant EP is just a real mix of atmospheric black, doom. Yeah, it's quite a different EP. But the next one's going a lot sort of more towards the atmospheric black metal route with a lot of sort of blast beats and things like that. And so that's all being recorded on the boat. That'll be probably the last thing I record here.
Kieran, what about you? I know that you're heavily involved with lots and lots. Tell us all about it.
Oh God, where do I start? Right, so at the start of the year, we did our last gig with Ashen Crown. We did Grand Magus and Wolf. That was weird. Don't know how we got that one. It was good though. And we played with All Consumed, Pemphigoid, Cadaversauri, and I think that's it. Yep, and us. Yeah, that's it. So those are the last two gigs we played of the year. And then after that, I was like, well, okay, what do we do now? So I got an offer from the guys from a project, which I'm not going to mention now because I'll be like, there's no point because I didn't go for it. But that happens. I did a cover of Opeth's Funeral Portrait with some friends. So that was the members of Evil Scarecrow. We had Confide, Cradle of Filth, Evil. So that was pretty mad. I don't really know how that came about. Just got asked one day, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, cool. Like I won't say no, because they were looking for vocalists that could do, his Mikkel's style, and I was like, well, I can do his old style, but his new style is something different completely. So like I can do that era of him. So they were like, yeah, so cool, you're in. So I started doing that. That came out really well. Like shocked how well that came out. So that was a really cool boost after that massive drop with everything that happened. And then the Grimorte stuff really started to take form then, and then we started to like smash into it. I had a lot of delays because I've had a lot of the Ashen Crown stuff at the same time, so it took us a while to get through it. I've also been asked to do a couple of features as well, which is really cool. I'm going to be featuring on Gutlocker's new album, so that's really cool. Yeah, so that's really sweet. I'll also be featuring on a cover track for a guy named Peter. I can't reveal much more right now, but it's a quite a good one. It's a metalcore, which I'm not usually into, but it was this kind of early era, kind of almost tech metalcore, and I've never heard that in my life. So kind of Dillinger Escape Plan sort of stuff. It's cool, really, really cool. So that's pretty much what I've been doing and promoting everything. Yeah, that's pretty much been my lot.
Good for you, man. Keeping busy, very important.
Yeah.
Let's look to the future, the hypothetical future. If you could have anyone in the world guest on the Grimorte full-length album, dead or alive, doesn't matter, who would you have?
Oh,
Aluna.
Aluna. Yeah. Matt.
You should get a new guitarist on your album.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Wouldn't say no. In fantasy realm and out of reality, I would probably say Tom Fisher, Tom G Warrior, Triptychon. Yeah, that would be my.
That is made in hell, isn't it? Grimorte and Tom Fisher. I ship that.
Right, like this is the thing, because I recently added him on Facebook, the actual person, because I didn't realize it was him, and then Dave Ingram from Benediction, I've got my friends list, did a picture with him, and I was like, shit, that's him, Tom Fisher, sweet. I'll send a friend request, just see if he accepts it, and he did. So I was like, wow, okay. So do you remember that? Have you seen that Raised by Owls Christmas thing we did?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So I approached Tom with this. Obviously, he said no because it's Tom G. Warrior. I can imagine him singing Christmas songs. I just can't. But he was really, really, really polite and professional, and I was like, wow, okay, I didn't expect that. It was just like, dear Kieran. And I was like, oh, like, thank you for taking me into consideration, but I must decline on this occasion. I was like, and he even put like, yours, Tom. And I was like, wow, that's hilarious. But, I was really cool of him. So hopefully if I orbit him enough on Facebook, he might get familiar with me enough to, at some point, wherever it will happen, I'll be like, have you heard my album, my band? Just, he'll ever would. But yeah, it's a dream, but it could happen if I'm very, very persistent and annoying. Yeah.
Triptychon and Grimorte and Ashen Crown could all go on a tour in a few years' time. Who knows?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Don't get me too excited.
Let's curate a festival, and Grimorte are going to be on the lineup, and it's going to be full of bands that sound like Grimorte or just have the Grimorte aesthetic. And you can have whoever you want, and it's going to be the best festival that we've never seen. Who else is going to be on the lineup?
Oh,
I got some good ones. Lewis, do you want to chip in first?
Yeah, I think Rotting Christ should definitely be on there. And we would go on first, so we can just get rid of any crippling stage anxieties before, and then we can just enjoy the day afterwards.
Literally.
Yeah. And maybe a hologram of David Gold from Woods of Ypres can sort of.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh man, like band wise, there's so many. Like, I guess like I'll go big bands, right? So we'll go Cold World, definitely Cold World. Like, personally, massive influence on me vocally in the black metal range, which I've been practicing because of Grimorte. I'm getting there. I'm getting better. I did very well with Grimorte, but I feel like I could do better. Conjurer, because they've got that kind of dissonant, sort of heavy darkness to them, and I think that would be a really cool matchup. Hidden Mothers would be a good one as well. That post-hardcore kind of, like, because that has that black metal aesthetic to it. Speaking of them as well, like Baal as well. Yeah, there's so many bands. Oh man, I could keep going. Like, there's so many. Oh god, yeah, like a Primitive Man. This Will Destroy You. That would be amazing. Oh my god. Even though I'm not massive on the drama, but Batushka, right? Because that's got that kind of culty vibe to it. Ghost. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, just like those kind of bands, really. Like, massive one for me, like Draconian. Oh man, that would be. That'd be. Oh, and Saturnus. Saturnus would be a good one as well. Oh, so many. I won't shut up. I'll send it there. I'm just gonna keep going.
I'll get the early bird ticket for that one.
Yeah, right.
Were it to happen, I hope it does. Have you guys got any final words? Any final plugs?
Obviously, check out the EP if you haven't. If you're watching this and you don't know who we are for some reason, go check out that. That'd be really appreciated. We've still got a discount in our store. If you want to go support us, that'd be very much welcomed. Go check out the Raised by Owl's latest Christmas Band-Aid cover that they've done with like 45 different bands with 50 vocalists. All of it goes to Crisis, to homeless charity, which is really, really cool. We've already raised over 1K already. I think it's more than that now. I haven't checked it since. So I was really, really grateful to be part of that with so many people. And I think that's pretty much it, from me.
I do love the video, and as they say in the post, it pisses Bob Geldof off as well.
It's worth it. Oh, that was good fun. That was.
Yeah, definitely. If anyone's watching and hasn't heard the EP, do give it a listen. My favourite song is Sequestrate, but I do love that repetitive riff in the title track. It just kind of sinks into you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's almost arrogant sounding kind of scale thing to it. Yeah,
yeah, it's that Phrygian dominant kind of.
yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. I want more like that on the next one. But
I'm really confused between 2 and 3, and I can't tell them apart still. I recorded them both like at the same time, and I just both tracks are sort of just one now. Yeah. That's the one with the black metal blast, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the third
Yeah.
one. Yeah, title
Yeah.
track. I think like out of the EP, Further is definitely the standout like track. Like it doesn't, it's the one that doesn't like flow in the same way as the others. And I think that's a good thing. It's a good one to end on. You know, it's like kind of like.
it definitely vibes as a closing song, with the monk singing. Was that you doing the singing on that?
Me?
Oh.
No. So I've got before I bought I purchased like a monk, what I call monk simulator, and you basically you assign your keyboard to monk chants and certain things. So you've got sort of like chants with like full on chants with your left hand, and you've got oohs and ahs and things that you can do the harmonies with your right hand. But this is gonna be bad. That the monk thing. Then I actually bought that royalty free about 2 years ago to put into a song, and I've been trying to use it somewhere in the last 2 years because I just wanted to get my money's worth out of it. Really, like I bought it 2 years ago, never used it. Let's see what happens when I make it into atmospheric-y sort of black metal sort of thing. But now I don't buy any monk chants. I make them all myself.
I didn't know you could make monk chants. To be fair, but
It's like Goat Simulator for monks.
It goes about like monks running around the fucking like all the different places and just wrecking everything, getting drunk, causing problems. Man, that'd be quite fun actually.
I made the monk sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb" a little while ago. That was the first time. It was haunting. I've always thought about making sort of a blackened death metal album for children, like all nursery rhymes.
Oh, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
I mean, like you've got to do. Oh God, yeah, like Ring Around the Road. Oh yeah, no, yeah, that'd be sick. That would be so cool. That song is grim as hell. It's got the Black Plague. Ring around the road.
It's sort of old folk sort of melodies and things. They're quite spooky sounding. So you could just take that, whack some distortion in there, scream all over it.
This has been Grimorte. Esoteric Ascendance is out now. Thanks for your time, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
It's all right. Anytime.